What's up? So today I'm gonna talk about soul contracts. So what led me to this topic is recently, um, this latest eclipse cycle slash portal that we're still going through. It deals with the Aries Libra axis, which is individuality versus um, partnership, right? So if you never heard of soul contracts, when you incarnated in this realm, you had a set of agreements, you had karma, you had lessons, you had gifts, you had obstacles, you had um, identities to pick up and identities to let go of, right? And you also had agreements with other souls, and these souls and you basically made like contracts that you would play out a certain um, like character or role or relationship or problem or interaction, and you guys both would grow from the interaction in some way. So with this latest eclipse, and it's not only the eclipse, it's just the energy that we've been moving towards in general. Like a lot of soul contracts have been ending, and it's important because soul contracts are what dictate what phase of your life you're in, what phase of your life you go through, people that you meet, the opportunities that are presented to you, and all of that, right? So a lot of people talk about like karmic relationships or karmic partnerships, um, which is like when you go through situations, relationships, interactions, cycles that are like really painful, but it's also like showing you parts of yourself that you may not be aware of, and it's also teaching you how to love yourself more, right? Um, what a lot of people don't talk about is the fact that karmic relationships and partnerships, like, is not something that you can run away from. So like, a lot of people nowadays, like, they talk about detachment or like, oh, just uh, cut it off, like cut that person off, and they don't understand like that's not a permanent solution. That's temporary. So, for example, if you have a karmic relationship with a person or with something, if you just decide to cut that energy off or detach, like, really you're just running away from the problem. And even if it doesn't show up in like another romantic relationship, it might show up in a job, or it might show up in a family member, or it might show up in a like a blockage, because it's deeper than just that person or that situation. It's about the fact that your soul needs to like completely regain certain parts of itself that is lost. And this deals with like something that they call soul retrieval, where basically parts of your soul have been lost in certain like memories, and until you like learn how to heal, like, you will never have that part of your soul complete. So it'll be like this, like, imagine if you're a kid, like, you didn't have a lot of money or whatever, right? So now part of your soul is trapped in a cycle of never having money. And now part of your soul feels unworthy because it never has money. So this doesn't just manifest in you not, you know, being wealthy, or you um, constantly giving money or constantly losing money. It's also manifests in relationships. Like, you might attract partners who never actually fulfill you because you feel unworthy. Or you might attract like a job that never actually um, makes you feel like important, or makes you feel like you're doing something that's worthwhile, because you don't feel worthy, right? And that all stems from your childhood, right? So in order to retrieve that part of your soul, what you have to do is you have to go back into those memories and you have to rewrite the story. And how you do that is you look at the bigger picture, right? So speaking for me personally, right, I had to realize that because I didn't have a lot of money growing up, like, this taught me value, and it's something that I'm still learning. And it's taught me how to really value things, and how to value things even more than money, because although money is important, money is also just a tool, just like anything else. But value is what really determines like what your money does. So like, um, you got a certain amount of money, and you might be like, all right, let me get this thing, right? And somebody might look at you and be like, man, why would you get that? You just wasted your money. But the value of what you just bought might give you like a certain feeling in your soul that fulfills you in a way that allows you to get more money, or that allows you to, you know, fully appreciate this thing and uplift you, right? Or you might do the opposite. You might get something that a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, that's makes sense. Like, you should get that. And then this shit might drain your energy. This shit might like take value away from you. This shit might like, you know, make you realize like, man, this doesn't feel like something that was worthwhile, right? So with these soul contracts, you have to like really go deep, deep, deep in reflection and isolation in order to really understand like where your contracts are in this life, and whether certain contracts are up, how to end certain contracts, how to start contracts, like what contracts you need, the terms of the contract, like all of that is important, right? And you gauge this through your interactions, through relationships, through how you feel, through, you know, the things that you're seeing in life. That's how you gauge, like, you know, what contracts you have, like, ongoing at the moment, right? So as you start to retrieve parts of your soul and rewrite your story and realize that you are powerful, you know, you are wealthy, you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are limitless, you are, you know, healthy, you are divine, then like, things will start changing. And this is a stage that we're at, just in terms of the world, is where things are changing. And the key is you gotta balance the future with the past, because a lot of times we want to move so far into the future and get so far away from the past, not realizing that like you're always gonna be who you were. You can't run away from that, and you shouldn't want to run away from that. But at the same time, like, evolving is important. And the key is to balance it out in the present. So um, that's why meditation is important, because you want to be able to look yourself in the mirror but not have any judgments. And when I say judgments, I don't mean like excuse me, I don't mean judgments as in like good or bad. I mean like, man, I'm supposed to look like this, or man, I'm not like this. But you should be observing yourself though. So you should be like, all right, maybe I want to look like this. So what do I have to do in order to get there? Or maybe this is the type of whatever that I see myself having. And I may not be there right now, but looking at my past, looking at where I'm at right now, look where I want to be, like I see how to get there. And so you write a contract with yourself. And so with these contracts, this is the most important contract that you will have is with yourself. And that's what sets the tone for all the other contracts that you write with anybody or anything else. So when you, honestly, like for me, I write a self-contract every day that I wake up and every night that I go to sleep. And it's to be better than I was the day before. And better might not necessarily be like do more in terms of like physical activity. Better might not be like, what it means for other people. But better might just be like enjoy myself more. Or better might be like become more expensive. Better might be, whatever version of myself or version of my soul needs to be expressed at that moment. That's what better looks like. So yeah, the contract that you have with yourself is the most important. And for me, like, I keep a strict contract with myself, because I really expect a lot out of myself, because I know the deep that I go into myself, I know what I came here to do, and I know like nobody understands like what I came to do, and they're not supposed to. But they just because nobody understands the contract that you have with yourself doesn't mean that they can't like what did it say, audit contract. Like, it doesn't mean they can't fucking look over your contract and help you improve on certain things and help you see what needs work, what needs to change. Like, how can you tweak that, to be better, right? So when you keep a good contract with yourself, when you do contracts with other people, it's like it's easier to notice when somebody's going off contract, when somebody's not keeping up their end, when somebody's like using loopholes, when someone is like using clauses or like all this shit, all the terms and stuff that they be using about contracts. But also, like, you also realize how your contract affects how other people see you. Because how I was talking about worthiness, right? You might have had a contract with your soul that said earlier in life you felt like you weren't worthy, so that you could actually learn what true worth is. So then even when you go out into the world, when you're looking for a partner or a job or opportunity or whatever, like, you can instantly gauge whether this matches up with your current contract of what you feel is worth who you are, right? And this is important because we're taught to basically demean our worth so that, like, our essence can be drawn and we never, like, have a full tank, right? And that means, like, we always have to give power away, and we're always, like, needing power given to us in order to operate, because, like, we never have a full tank. So when you start to really fill your tank up, it's like certain things certain opportunities, certain problems won't even exist because like your soul is literally too expansive for that. So it's like a lot of people who are in the poverty mindset is like they don't even realize that you don't have to be there. But because like of their conditioning, whatever, it's like that seems like that's the only way. That's the only thing to do, right? But when you expand your mind, when you expand your soul, when you start to really like, how can I say, like when you start to really explore like the um the depths of your soul and stuff, like certain things will come to you and you won't know that those things existed unless you know, really went into yourself and really um question yourself, you know, really test yourself, really um defined and refined and like audited and fucking like even battle yourself, because like battling with yourself is important, because like you'll realize like there's certain things that aren't you at all, that other people have influenced you to be, and deep down you knew you were never like that, but like just because of how strong the condition is around you, or maybe because like you didn't have a certain access to your soul or you didn't trust yourself, like you will fall for certain things. But you know, the more intimate and familiar you get with your soul, it's like you start to realize like, no, I'm worth more than that. Like I want more than that. I need more than that. I crave more than that. And the more that you accept and actually like affirm that you are more, like opportunities start coming to you and you start realizing certain things. But at the same time, the past will come, which is your shadow, and it will like test you, and it will um start to uh like form resistance, because you know expansion does come with responsibility. Like you can't just say like I want $1 million and then get $1 million and fuck everything up, fuck up your whole path, your whole life, because that's not like in balance and order and harmony with the universe. And that's why like a lot of times when people might want to manifest something or might want a new situation or might be going through something, like it takes time for you to actually like fulfill the terms of that contract, because like your soul fully needs to like what they say, understand, understand, but also like wear out and like really um become like one with the contract, to the point where it's not like the contract just like you don't have to tear up the contract anymore, because it's like it's just the contract just disappears, because it's like you literally fulfill the terms of it. And shit, that could take years, that could take months, that could take decades, or it could even take a day, because you know the soul knows no time. So it's like you might delve so deep into your soul into one day than you ever have in like months or years or whatever, and you might solve like or you know deal with a contract in one day, and that's all your choice. But yeah, that's soul contracts. So how to know when you're breaking soul contracts is when you just literally like don't even feel anything about certain things anymore. Like when you don't get triggered at all, when no emotions come up out of you about a certain thing, when it's like you don't have any desire, you don't have any like uh emotion, like when it doesn't make you feel any type of way, when you just like could literally observe it and just be at peace and cool with it, that's when you know like that whole contract is over with. So yeah, keep breaking soul contracts, keep upgrading, keep being great.